Hello and welcome to the Super Arcade 20p challenge, where this week we are playing my choice Devil World. I've had two on the bounce now, aren't I lucky? It's very much like a cross between Gradius and Gauntlet, but only this version is, because there's another version of this, Dark Adventure, which uses the same assets, same graphics, same characters, same storyline. But instead of having, like you see out there, I've got a crossbow, you have to use a ranged weapon. And it is ruddy hard. It gives you a lot more lives, but it is ruddy hard. This one, though, is based on Konami's version of Gradius in terms of how you power your character up. So you've got, like, down the bottom there, you've got those little box outs, and as you collect more gems, those little gems there, like that, you can then choose to select a particular part depending on how many of them collect. So if you collect 2, obviously you get the dynamite there. If you collect 3, you get the machine gun, but you have to press the button to activate your choice. You can jump, you can shoot, you can cause yourself all kinds of troubles unless you pay attention to what you're doing. And yeah, as you can see, the Gauntlet link is you've got these little generators, as well as the view, of course, where if you shoot them, it will kill the spawning points for the enemies. So, yeah, basically the challenge is you can have as many practice goes as you want, but as soon as you press record, that is your run. What good fun it is too. So yeah, I've chosen this basically because it's Halloween this week when we're recording. It's called Devil World, and it's got graveyards in it and minotaurs and big sludge monsters. Not as spooky as I thought it was going to be, especially now I've got a laser. Laser's a really good weapon, by the way. Try to get hold of that. Maybe the shotgun's better. I didn't try that. Yeah, but it's still very spooky, and it has got the trees in it from Evil Dead. Now, if you know what those are, yeah, they do something very unsavoury to a poor young lady. So, yeah, this came out in 1987. I don't think it ever came out on any home formats up until the arcade archives. A Konami game. Very disappointed it didn't come out on the home formats. Because basically, it's, you know, there was a market for this kind of game in the 16-bit era. So, you know, with your Zombies Ate My Neighbours and what have you. So I think it probably should have been. I kind of prefer it to Zombies Ate My Neighbours. I always got lost in that game, and then you get stuck and it gets a bit boring. This bit's good though, because the grass sets on fire and then the whole thing becomes like this big fiery mass, and it fills up the entire grassland, so it's really cool. But yeah, really odd that this game never gets talked about, because it is pretty damn good, and I will be going back to this one. So I made a good choice this week, something I've never played before, but I thought, yeah, let's pick something Halloween-y. And so that was it. Yeah, those trees I was talking about. You know the scene. Right, so what are we going to talk about genital facts wise? Well, let's talk about Halloween itself. Something I haven't covered yet, which is incredible when you think about it. So Halloween is known to be one of the more erotic events of the year, the calendar year. Costumes are thought to give the wearer an alter ego with less inhibitions, making them more likely to be braver both when finding a partner and when they're with their partner. Because obviously they've got a mask on, they feel like they're someone else, like Eyes Wide Shut or something. The pagan roots were historically randy too. The harvest was seen as a time of rebirth, and many scholars believe it to be associated with fertility rituals. Now, I don't know about your fertility rituals. Mine usually involve me putting on Hulk Hogan's theme, washing my genitals in a very cheap aftershave, thus causing them to sting, then crying, and then going to my room to pleasure myself alone. That's my rituals. Anyway, what are yours? Adult costumes of a very sexy variety were first pushed in the 70s and 80s when Playboy and Elvira fronted campaigns. Boy, she had a lot of front on her. shifting it from a purely children-based event to being a more universal occasion, something a bit saucier. Halloween foods like chocolate and pumpkins are associated with aphrodisiac qualities as well, so they might give you the yawn. And data found that dating app users believed that they were more likely to find a fling at a Halloween party or event than the rest of the year apart from New Year's. So there you go. It is an erotic time of year for everyone involved, except hopefully kids going out trick-or-treating. Good. So, speaking of which, let's talk about what I've coming up on the channel this week. Yeah. Nervous about this one. For my Halloween special this year, I've gone Real Monsters, and I can see a subscription apocalypse. By Real Monsters, I mean the video games of one Sir Jimmy Savile and one, it wasn't a Sir, I don't think, Rolf Harris. Yeah. Not the right person to cover those particular celebrities, I don't think. Not done with a lot of tact. Yeah. I quite like the videos I've done, but yeah, I can always blame it on the pug. Like people being erotic wearing masks, I can say it was the pug that did it, not me. I don't think that would work. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I've got coming up on the channel. First, continue down as I was axed to death by minotaurs, which is a terrible way to go. I've gone up this way by myself. It was only a minotaur. Do you see? Dad jokes. That's what you need. But yeah, great stuff. So, have you got a particular favourite Halloween game that you like to play? I quite liked, when the servers were up, that Friday the 13th game. It was one of the more modern-y games, I'm afraid. I thought that was really cool. I also like that. I've got PT, the demo, saved on my hard drive as well, on my PS4, which did, I think, for a very short time, a very, very short time, meant that you could kind of sell it on eBay. But no one really talks about it anymore. So, yeah, you can sell it on eBay for more than the PlayStation 4 was worth if you had it saved. I've still got it on there, and I'm going to potentially terrify my son with it at some point in this next week. It was very scary. I remember I played it with somebody, and they were very squeamish and didn't really like it. So, yeah. That's always a good one to play. What else do I like to play at Halloween? Obviously, you got your Silent Hills, your Resident Evils. I think also, like, if you've not been like a long-term person on my channel, if you're thinking the Spectrum can't scare you, or a Commodore 64 can't scare you, boot up Rats, the adaptation of the book. That game. Oh, I tell you what, that is a spooky game. The atmosphere is brilliant. Oh, there's what was the ZX81, the Monster Maze one? That's always a bit spooky as well. That's worth a go. Scary NES games, I can't think of any. I don't think there is any. 16-bit Super Nintendo Mega Drive, I can't think of too many that are genuinely unsettling. Splathouse is spooky. It's not scary, is it? Move to Joplin. Janice. Hello, Janice. You're full of minotaurs, Janice. You need to get that sorted. I bet that's itchy. But yeah, look at me as you see my last breaths with my flamethrower. Poor choice in the end, the flamethrower. There's a gap when you press it, when you can press it again. So I'd recommend something a bit more quick-fiery. As you can see, my poor little lady there, Labrina. That's close to labia. Just got cut in half. Poor old Labrina. But anyway, the end of your turmoil of watching me play this badly is done. So thank you. Like, subscribe, and thanks, bye.